Why hello world, and this is Kirikomori's House of Hikikomori, and today we shall be reviewing Fullmetal Alchemist. Now, I've got a lot of notes here. Normally it takes me just one page to kind of go over this, but it turns out I wrote a lot of stuff this time, which is pretty darn interesting. This is definitely a very classic anime. I feel like it's kind of like a staple of like the 2000s. Like, I remember like all my friends who watch anime have at least like watched like a couple episodes of this, and I feel like I'm behind the eight ball because like this actually was the first time I watched it. So, I'm just gonna tell you guys now that if this show is really important to you, if you've got the whole nostalgia, like this is the 10 out of 10 show, this show changed my life, I have to admit I don't agree. So if you're like, you want to head out now, totally cool with me. I totally get it. I bet I have my own shows where I'm completely biased in that way too. Just the show is not the same for me. Let's see. It's definitely by no means a bad show, of course. But I definitely enjoyed it, but definitely didn't. I came in thinking, man, this show changed people's lives, man. Maybe I'll feel the same way. And I didn't, but I'm going to go over into that later. So this is a show that came out in 2003 and ended in 2004. It was made by Bones, who also made Eureka 7, or in High School Host Club, Soul Eater, which actually is my favorite anime. Well, not favorite. Gosh darn it. I'm getting on favorites here. It's actually my first anime that I watched, like, knowing it was anime. And Noragami, which is pretty recent, all of these shows I definitely enjoyed to different degrees. Eureka 7 was my first mecha anime. That was a lot of fun. It's definitely a shonen staple. It's action-adventure, and it's based off a manga by Arakawa Hiromi, most famous for this work. I know she also wrote Silver Spoon, which came out relatively recently. It has 2 seasons on it, but this definitely is like her work, Let's see. The director is Mizushi Maseiji. I didn't find too many shows that he had credit for that I knew, but he did a storyboard for Eureka 7. It's been both subbed and dubbed. Pretty famously, Vic Mignogna voiced Ed in this one. He was actually at Comic-Con, which is also where I got this pretty darn cool shirt. But that's neither here nor there. Right now, I don't think there's any legal way to see this show. I watched it on Netflix, but then it expired on July 31st, and I had to finish through fan subs, which was really funny. I haven't really watched fan subs in, years. So it was really funny seeing the encoding credits and stuff like that, because I hadn't really seen it before in a long time. The openings, there were 4. It's a 51 episode show, so that basically makes sense. First one's Melissa by Porno Graffiti. Second is Ready Steady Go by L'Arc en Ciel. The third is Undo by Cool Joke. And the fourth, which was my favorite, was Rewrite by Asian Kung Fu Generation. I'm definitely biased. I got into actually the band through watching the Tatami Galaxy, because they did the opening for that. And they recently did Erased. The Riri was the opening for that. So definitely biased, was definitely my favorite. All these songs were pretty darn good. Definitely more upbeat kind of music. But anyway, on to what it's about. So this is an alternate world that takes place, it looks like very much in 1910s. I don't want to call it a steampunk aesthetic, but it's definitely like 1890s to 1910s, like railroads, like metal just coming out with automatic weapons. Looks very Germany-like, I'd say. And instead of science per se, there's a certain number of certain people can use something called alchemy. And alchemy makes like materials out of existing materials. So, for instance, they could make a wall out of stones, or fix a radio as long as it has all the parts involved. And which is really funny because alchemists were basically old school scientists in our history. Like, they'd be doing magic, but it was really just old school chemistry, which I thought was a really cool thing. And also the law of equivalent exchange was a really big theme at first, which is kind of based on little off conservation of matter. And it kind of gets weird towards the end, and I don't really want to talk about it too much, but it involved, but two things. One thing is that you can't make a human soul, and human transmutation is a big taboo. But of course everyone does it anyway. I love how they say it's a taboo and no one does it, and then like that's like the biggest theme in a show. That's just me. And also the rumored Philosopher's Stone, which in real history was the alleged sacred material that could like turn lead into gold. And for this one it could just ignore the laws of equivalent exchange. And I never got too clear about how it really goes into human transmutation. It seems that it still doesn't really work. But anyway, on to our main characters. Ed and Al. They, as young boys, tried to bring back their mom through human transmutation. They, of course, failed, and then so causes the younger brother, Al, to lose his body, and Ed to lose his arm and a leg. So Al's soul is tied to a piece of armor, and Ed has a metal arm, hence Fullmetal Alchemist. And then they decide to join the military so they can like research and try to find the Philosopher's Stone to get their bodies back. And of course, they're basically under a big like military backdrop. Of course, the military is not as what they seem. They never are. I feel like that's like a big thing. And then of course, there's enemies along the way. There's homunculus. I don't want to talk too much about it in case you want to see it, because it's kind of like cool to like discover this on your own. I like to call the homunculus the Hot Topic crew. But that's the plot itself, I think, is really good. It's really inventive in the sense that I never really predicted anything. Like, I thought, oh, this is gonna happen. The ending is kind of a non-ending. There's a movie that comes after that kind of, I think, finishes it up. And even though I said before that this is adapted from a manga, the first 12 episodes are what's accurate to the manga. And then there's this like kind of a spiritual successor named Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood that basically, like, the first 12 episodes are created, and then the last like are actually accurate to the manga. And I think a lot of people prefer that because I guess it's better. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't really compare it. The ending kind of was like really weird. Like, I got really confused. Like, it kind of was really rushed. I felt like it was kind of like, we gotta end this somehow. And so then it just kind of, everything happened so much. What was I also going to say? I think my only problem with Ed and Al, for me, the kind of gag that like Ed is always angry about being called short kind of got old for me. I felt like their motivations, like they kind of like seem like they keep saying that I want to pursue the Philosopher's Stone, yet their actions kind of veer off from that, and then you're not really sure what they want, but they're still kind of on the same path that they're supposed to. Like, I kind of wish they kind of cleared that up, so then I could actually understand like why they're there, what they want to do. And that happens kind of towards the latter half. I think the beginning half is actually really great. It's really tight. I really enjoyed it. The animation's really great for its time. The fighting choreography is amazing. And while there isn't too much fighting to speak of, I'd say that it's definitely strong. If you really want to find a great kind of fantasy magic with that kind of aesthetic, I don't see it too much. So I definitely recommend it. I definitely enjoyed it a lot, but I wouldn't say that it's like my 10 out of 10 best show ever, you know? But I definitely recommend it if you're already into action adventure. Perhaps when I do watch Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, I'll say something different. But probably before that, I'll probably watch the movie that kind of ends it first, and I'll definitely say if that's good or not. that's eventually. I don't know when that'll be. Let's see, my regular review, today shall be, oh, just remember it now, I would say it would be definitely The Wicked and the Divine. It's a comic series I've been following, definitely great, check it out. And yeah, I'm halfway through Strike Witches, so that'll probably be my next review. And then I might take a break. I'm trying to decide whether to watch Kung Fury or Stranger Things on Netflix. And that'll be soon enough. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. And have an awesome day. What to do?